Hello, and thank you for watching the demonstration here, our grading demonstration from Roush Media. My name is Keith Roush. I am the senior colorist, and I wanted to show you a live, real-time demonstration output from our Nucoda grading system. This was a short that we had done for NAB. It showed at NAB, and you probably had seen the little link on YouTube, and I just want to show you a little bit of how it's done. So this is behind the scenes. This was shot on the F65, which is a 16-bit linear image sensor camera that records onto an MXF file that will allow us to then pull out like OpenEXR files. It could be ACES compatible, or a more traditional log workflow gets you what they call a S-Log, S-Log2, and S-Gamut. That's what this image is here. We have an S-Log2 S-Gamut image on the screen showing you what comes straight out of the camera. So now we have the LUT that we created here, which takes us from the S-Log into our digital cinema space, which in this case is P3. I'm grading in a theater. And I'm going to show you a little bit of how this is done. This is what the shot looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and deconstruct it for you. Let's take all of the grades off here. Once again, S-Log. Now this is S-Log conversion to P3 without any grading. And let's go ahead and first start our first grade. You'll see right away that we need to take this down in brightness. The exposure is a little bit warm or a little bit hot, and richen this up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust the color temperature slightly, and then go ahead and adjust the grade. This is our base grade, and that will give us what this looks like here. Now you'll notice that this is a 4K output, and it's playing here in real time. And we have our look, which is warming this up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and start doing some work on her. So first of all, I need to go ahead and put a shape on her and track that shape through the scene, like so. Follow those track points. And then when you'll see that she's in this dark area here, I'll need to go ahead and lighten her up and just basically adjust the exposure just on her part of the image. And that's what we got there. And then we also need to do some adjustment here. Let's go ahead and knock this rock down a little bit. It's a little bit bright back there. I wanted to go and make it nice and rich. So let's go ahead and pull a shape on that to richen that up. We also have a key with that. And now we have the rock, we have her, and we have all of our other aspects of things. And that's kind of how we built this shot. You'll see it's nice, a little bit richer, a little bit warmer. You can still see all the detail in the sky. Now, since these are OpenEXR files, they essentially have limitless dynamic range. You'll notice right away if I go ahead and adjust this, quite bright, everything's gonna blow out the sky. But also the same thing too, I'll be able to then adjust and bring those back down and still preserve all the detail that's in the shot. Okay. I'm going to take you on to our next shot. She's walking along the fence here, and this is only with our LUT conversion on it. So you'll notice right away that with this is a pretty high dynamic range shot. It has a lot of high brights in the sky and the clouds. It's really hot, even clipping out right now, and but it's not in the camera. Okay, that way. Here is the actual raw image coming from the camera here in S-Log2. And there is our LUT that we created for that. And then I go ahead and have adjust the first base layer, get some exposure adjustment to lighten her up. You still notice that the sky here is pretty hot and blown out. So we're going to go ahead and take essentially a grad in the top half of the sky and pull that back down so you can get a nice, exposure for her, and also pull the sky down. You're talking probably maybe 3 or 4 stops or more between her and the sky. You also want to notice that we'll need to go ahead and pull some more color into the sky. I wanted to go ahead and richen that blue and make it rich in color and separate them from the crowds a little bit more. So I can go ahead and pull a nice key up here and allow me to go ahead and then make that sky a little bit richer. The MXF files that are compressed from the camera do hold together remarkably well and are really clean to pull keys on, and that was something that was quite nice to see. Also, we'll need to go ahead and track her face here and lighten it up so that we can get a little more light on her face here as well. So you'll notice that that's what we did with that. Let's move on to this shot right here. You'll notice right away that this is the S-Log. It looks kind of flat. We're going to go ahead and put on our LUT to grade this from S-Log to P3. That's what we are grading in our theater once again. And we're going to need to go ahead and do some work to bring down hot parts of the image and bring up the other areas to be able to adjust the eye to where we want it to go. So first thing you'll notice is that always start with a base grade. So we kind of get some things, just adjust the, take out a little bit of that yellow, get a little, balance that image a little bit better. Then we're going to, once we got our grades done, then we can start with some secondary work. So this does fall off the truck pretty nicely, but now we just need to start working our secondaries. So that first thing we're going to do is work on these rocks that are nice and bright. So we're going to go ahead and bring up a shape and go ahead and bring that shape up, and that makes it a little bit richer over here, and we can warm those up a bit more if we need to, or they're kind of falling in line right there. Okay, next thing we need to do is realize that I want you to draw your eye to her face, so we're going to throw a little bit extra light in her face and just make it pop a bit more. So let's do that with a shape here. She does move in the shot, so we're going to need to track the shape through her, which is going to take a little bit of XY tracking as well as some scaling, kind of follow on her. Okay, and go ahead and bring up some brightness in her face. Let's go ahead and get rid of those lines and just lighten her up. So there we go. We would take that down and lighten her up. There we go. And the next thing we need to do is let's maybe want to make that sky just a little bit richer up there. So we are going to pull a key, and maybe we should go ahead and use this as a grad. So we'll create a shape up here, and basically it's a grad for the sky. And that will allow you to take the pop part of the image and add some additional blue in there and just richen that up a little bit more. So there is our final shot. All right, so let's look at this shot right here. One of the things I noticed that was quite remarkable about this shot in the camera was that we're able to see into the depth of the bucket, yet preserve really the highlights quite well, and control all those. So we can go ahead and lighten up that bucket like so. We can do our base grade there. We're going to go ahead and do our overall grade there. And we need to lighten up her face a little bit right there with a shape. And you'll notice that what we're able to end up with is a bucket we can see into, but yet a lot of detail everywhere else in the highlights that isn't lost anywhere. Nothing is clipping. It's compressing the high dynamic range that the camera has been able to work with. And it works quite well. This shot's kind of interesting because it's a very simple shot, but I'll kind of show you a little bit how this is done. So this is our S-Log, and we're going to go ahead and show you how we build this from scratch. There's our LUT for S-Log, and then we're going to start with a little bit of a base grade here, just kind of adjust our color temperature and hue of the shot. Then we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of our look here, lighten it up, the direction we want to go. And then we're going to need to do a little bit of secondary work here. We have this really bright hot spot up in this corner here when we did that. That is too much light coming from behind her that is distracting and kind of not looking so good. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that down because we have so much latitude. We're able to just go ahead and draw that up, shape up there, and then bring that down all the way back into spec. Also, we're going to need to focus our eye where we want to go in this case. So we want the center of the image where the watch is to be a little bit brighter. And so first of all, make sure that it's all D there, all the details there, nothing's clipping, so we can kind of bring that into to spec there. and then we can go ahead and lighten up the whole thing just to kind of vignette, so to speak, what's around it, darken the outer edges. And that gets you kind of a nice little looking shot here to insert on her fingers, and that works very well. That is the Joshua Tree F65 4K piece that we graded, once again in OpenEXR S-Log2. My name is Keith Roush. I'm the senior colorist here at Roush Media. If you have any questions or wanted to contact us about anything, you're welcome to do so at Keith, Keith, at roush-media.com. Once again, it's Keith at roush-media.com. Thank you very much for watching.